and gentlemen, we have a new camera, and also for the first time in 2019, Mr. Rocky Boy Johnson.
Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious.
Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back for another brand new video. Today's video we are going to be discussing another double signing video. That's right, if you missed yesterday's video which we discussed a certain Mr. Jermaine Defoe and Steven Davis joining the Glasgow Rangers, we are back today, a day later, with signing another two players. 2 plus 2. It's only the 4th of January. Oh my sweet 55. But just a friendly reminder, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel as we are making our way to 24k. I believe we are less than 150 away, so let's absolutely smash that and continue the journey. But enough of the intro, let's dive into the video itself. 3, 2, 1. Story number 1 then is going to be about a man from Kilmarnock. His name is Mr. Jordan Jones. Now, just like yesterday's video when we spoke about Defoe and Steven Davis, none of these deals have been confirmed by either club. It's all Sky Sports media website. Pretty much everyone's talking about it, just neither club. So I just wanted to get that out of the way just in case the deal falls through or anything like that. But as it stands just now, all that is waiting on for Mr. Jordan Jones is for him to pass his medical within the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, it is a pre-contract signing, meaning he will be joining up with the Glasgow Rangers at the end of the season, on. But there is a lot of talk and a lot of rumour online regarding the transfer of Jordan Jones. Yes, he can pass his medical and sign on the dotted line, meaning he will join up with Rangers at the end of the season. However, there could be an agreement done between Rangers and Kilmarnock which will allow Jordan Jones to sign in January. Now, both clubs will have to come to that agreement themselves and sort of discuss which kind of value Jones will sort of have if he's already signed for Rangers, and that is where a lot of the problems have. Whenever this sort of deal has gone down in the past, it's very, very rare that both clubs can come to a financial agreement which will allow the player to join in January. So if I'm honest with you, I'm expecting to see Mr. Jordan Jones at the end of the season before he pulls on that Rangers shirt. But I want to ask you, do you believe that some sort of deal can be done in January? And do you actually think that will benefit Rangers going into the second half of the season, having Jordan Jones there, ready and able to help when needed? Now, just in case you don't know, Jordan Jones is obviously 44 years old. He is a Northern Ireland international. This season he's played 24 games, he's got 2 goals and he has 4 assists overall, which actually breaks down to a goal every 933 minutes, which is very, very similar to both Ryan Kent and Mr. Daniel Candeias in terms of goals per game minutes ratio. Oh, now the two players that's obviously at our club with a better goal to game ratio is Mr. Grezda, who hasn't played a lot of football, if I'm honest with you, and by far and away Glenn Middleton is our most prolific midfield player regarding goals and assists. So it would be a very, very interesting thing if he does come in January with the 4 players we've already got. Is he actually going to be starting ahead of those players? That's a very, very interesting thing to think of. I like the idea of bringing Jones in, if I'm honest with you. I think he's a very, very talented player. He's so direct, he's so attacking. He's had good performances against us and he's had even better performances against Celtic. So the man can play in the big games. Yes, he's got everything. He just doesn't score enough goals for me personally, but I think in the last 18 months, in fact, since Stevie Clark himself's actually signed at the club, I think Jordan Jones has become a lot better player. He's mature, he's getting involved in maybe the dirtier side of the game as well, coming back and defending, because there was a lot of talk. He used to just stand up front and he never used to really track back. In some of the games that I've managed to watch him this season, he is getting back and defending, but you can clearly see the man just likes to go forward. He's got that skill, he's got that ability to beat a man. I think that's what he would do if he signs the Rangers. He'll get the ball a lot like Ryan Kent and he'll run at players. He's not really one of these guys that's going to cut back and pass or just run it wide and cross. He wants to beat people, he wants to get in the box and he wants to have a shot. His overall stats for Kilmarnock, by the way, is 108 games, 9 goals and 22 assists. The assists are absolutely great in the 109 games because, again, not all of them are starts, but the goals, it definitely needs to step up, and I'm sure that's what he's looking to add to his game, especially if it comes to the famous. There I have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard my opinion. I think it's going to be a good signing as long as he can add the goals to his game. I'm sure he's going to be a fantastic signing and servant of the Glasgow Rangers. But what's your thoughts and opinion? I'm about to jump over at Twitter, so make sure you're getting your thoughts out there in the comment section below to discuss with the rest of of the nation. Now, I haven't actually seen this poll yet, so let's see. It's just finished about 4 or 5 minutes ago. It's got 1,007 votes. Thank you so much for going involved. And I simply asked the people, are you happy with the signing of Jordan Jones? 16% of people votes for no, but 84% votes for yes, they are happy. So let's see what they've had to say. Stevie Brown says, don't think he will be first choice, but look what Gerrard has done with Halliday, so think he will develop him into a better player. Blue Mandarin said, absolutely CJ, he's proven he's got the appetite, fight and desire at this level. All systems go for the Rangers. Like, honestly, every time Blue Mandarin fires on a quote, it always just gets me fired up. He's like Al Pacino on Any Given Sunday. Georgie Brown says, Jones under Gerrard's coaching will turn out to be a great signing. He's got so much potential. Billy Boy says, by signing him on a pre-contract, would he be going out? Maybe Middleton out on loan somewhere, let them develop for a year or two, or have Liverpool priced us out of a move for Kent. Again, I'm not really sure on the Liverpool side of things. As far as I know, Rangers are still keen. And even if we bring Jones in, I don't necessarily see Middleton being loaned out either. The guy certainly had a good enough impact. Again, he is our most prolific winger at the football club in the first half of the season. But moving on to the next comment, it comes from the channel legend Mark Menzies. It says, great signing for when Kent leaves, good player, and he is a blue nose as far as I can tell. Blue nose, and they hate Scott Brown. Doesn't he? He'll fit right in. And the last two that we'll actually read out come from David Smith. He says, direct, pacey and attack minded. Has a few tricks and is willing to run at people. Would rather Kent on a permanent deal though, but I'm not ruling that out yet. Yeah, don't rule it out, mate. It's not over until it's over. Robbie Littler says, good bit of business. Will weaken Kelly whilst adding depth to our squad. Ready replacement for when Kent inevitably goes back to his parent club in the summer. And the last one I've actually read out comes from John Flynn. He says, hi, CJ, Jordan Jones on one side and Kent on the other, getting balls to Morelos and Defoe, goals towards 55. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard the people's opinion. A lot sort of reflecting on the Ryan Kent transfer as well. So I'm interested to see what you're thinking. Do you think that's the end of the line for Mr. Ryan Kent? Or do you believe it's just adding to what the quality we've already got at the football club? So that is story number 1 done and dusted. Now we move to story number 2. And if I'm honest with you, this one really surprised me because I hadn't heard this at all. Story number 2 then, and it's none other than Glenn Kamara from Dundee, the 23-year-old centre defensive mid. A lot like Jordan Jones, has agreed personal terms. He's just got to pass the medical and sign on the dotted line. Once again, a pre-contract signing for the Glasgow Rangers. But unlike Jordan Jones, I haven't heard anything regarding Rangers bringing him in January. As far as I know, that he is going to be staying there for the rest of the season, see out his contract at Dundee and come back to the famous at the end of his contract. Now, as I did previously mention, I didn't know too much about this guy, so I've spent this afternoon trying to find out as much as I actually can, so I'm going to try and keep us up to date in this video. Like I said, he's 23 years old, he's a centre defensive mid, which instantly made me a wee bit nervous because I think he's centre defensive mids and I think we're pretty stacked in that area. We have Ryan Jack, obviously, Ross McCrory, Rossiter, which looks like it's probably the end of line for young Jordan, which is obviously a shame, but again, that's not until next season, so let's not even begin the speculation regarding who's going to be playing in the centre defensive mid spot. Let's focus on Glenn Kamara and what he actually can do. What I've managed to find from him, he's a very, very skillful player. If I'm honest with you, he's very, very similar to Ajaya on the ball. Wait, don't click off the video yet or dislike it. Regarding Ajaya, strength on the ball, you know when Ajaya used to touch the ball, turn players, hold off players, the best Ajaya. Now, when the pressure came on Ajaya, he'd fold like a deck chair and just be, you know, Ajaya. Fake shot, fake shot, fake shot, fake shot. That was the worst of Ajaya, but his best was his strength, his composure, his poise on the ball. And as far as I can see, Glenn Kamara has exactly that. So I think it's kind of a Ajaya replacement regarding this signing. However, the one thing I would say he's got that Ajaya doesn't is the mental side of the game. Obviously, he's playing for Dundee. They're struggling. They're getting stuck in. They basically need to get as much points as they can. There's no hiding when you play for a Dundee side. They're under so much pressure every single game, and he is playing in those positions. So I think he's a lot mentally tougher than Ajaya actually was. And basically, he's coming from the furnace into the fire when it comes to Ibrox. So it's going to be a very, very interesting signing regarding Glenn Kamara. His overall stats this season, obviously, he's playing centre defensive mid, so they're not going to be too impressive. But he has played 18 games. He's got 3 assists as well in that position. And as always, his overall stats for his current club just now is 64 appearances, 5 assists, and it's also worth noting that he's actually played once in the Arsenal full team a few years ago, so he has got something about him. It's maybe just been lost bit when you've got Steven Gerrard, who is one of the best midfield players of his generation, and obviously Gary McAllister there as well, a very, very good midfield player in his own right. They're seeing something in this laddie. I'm like, okay, fair enough, I'm going to trust their judgment. And the last thing that I've actually managed to find about Glenn Kamara is he's very, very flexible in his positioning. A lot like Andy Halliday, how Halliday can play in centre defensive mid and then he can go and play at left back and keep Nanek out of the game completely. That flexibility, Glenn Kamara actually has that as well regarding the centre defensive mid spot and actually right back, which I find very, very interesting. So he can sort of fill in and right back whenever needed. So hopefully you know a little bit more about Glenn Kamara now, and that can influence your decision on his transfer. Do you think it's going to be a good one? That is what I asked Twitter. So while you're getting involved in the comment section below, I have asked Twitter, 765 votes. 17% votes for no, but 83% of the people votes for yes. So it's just slightly under the Jordan Jones transfer. So let's see what people had to say. Lewis Aird says, unknown player. I get he's free, but need to trial this guy because he's played for Arsenal. Doesn't mean he's any good. Fair enough there. Let's see what else people had to say. Mark M says, I am happy for whoever we are linked with. It keeps Celtic raging. Curtis says, great player for Dundee. Jordan says, aye mate, he's an absolute unit. Emma says, to be honest, I've never seen him play. Let's hope he's not another Ajaya. And the last two we'll read out comes from Ross McFarlane says, if there was an unsure option, I'd have picked that. I'm 50-50. And in fact, because your name's RFC Loyal, I will end with your one. He says, a solid midfield player, strong in the tackle and comfortable on the ball. I am buzzing. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard the people's opinion. You've also heard mine. Remember to get involved and let me know what you think in the comment section below. And before we end today's video off, once again, I just give a massive shout out to the Patreons. We finally have the new camera. I'm still learning things, so the lighting, etc. will be better for the next one. But that would not have been possible without the support of the Patreon. So massive, massive shout out to them. The support will continue to grow. We're looking at lighting and a studio next, so that will be in the description below if you would like to join the Patreons and help the channel move forward. But I have been CJ Novo 92. It is a beautiful, beautiful day with another two bears on their way. Thank you for watching and bye.